Bereshith, chapter 2. Thus the Shamayim and the earth were completed, and all their array. And on the seventh day Elohim completed his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And Elohim barak the seventh day, and made it Kodesh, because on it he rested from all his work which Elohim in creating had made. These are the births of the Shamayim and the earth when they were created, in the day that Yahweh Elohim made earth and Shamayim. Now no shrub of the field was yet on the earth, and no plant of the field had yet sprung up, for Yahweh Elohim had not sent rain on the earth, and there was no man to till the ground, but a mist went up from the earth and watered the entire surface of the ground. And Yahweh Elohim formed the man out of dust from the ground, and breathed into his nostrils breath of life. And the man became a living being. And Yahweh Elohim planted a garden in Eden to the east, and there he put the man whom he had formed. And out of the ground Yahweh Elohim made every tree grow that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, with the tree of Kai in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided and became 4 riverheads. The name of the first is Pishon. It is the one surrounding the entire land of Kawila, where there is gold. And the gold of that land is good. Bdellium is there, and the Shoham stone. And the name of the second river is Gikon. It is the one surrounding the entire land of Cush. And the name of the third river is Kiddekel. It is the one which goes toward the east of Ashur. And the fourth river is Perath. And Yahweh Elohim took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to work it and to guard it. And Yahweh Elohim commanded the man, saying, Eat of every tree of the garden, but do not eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, for in the day that you eat of it you shall certainly die. And Yahweh Elohim said, It is not good for the man to be alone. I am going to make a helper for him, as his counterpart. And from the ground Yahweh Elohim formed every beast of the field and every bird of the Shamayim, and brought them to the man to see what he would call them. And whatever the man called each living creature, that was its name. So the man gave names to all livestock, and to the birds of the Shamayim, and to every beast of the field. But for the man there was not found a helper for him as his counterpart. So Yahweh Elohim caused a deep sleep to fall on the man, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in its place. And the rib which Yahweh Elohim had taken from the man he made into a woman, and he brought her to the man. And the man said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. This one is called woman, because she was taken out of man. For this cause a man shall leave his father and mother, and join unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, yet they were not ashamed. Bereshith, chapter 3. And the serpent was more crafty than any beast of the field which Yahweh Elohim had made. And he said to the woman, Is it true that Elohim has said, Do not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said to the serpent, We are to eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim has said, Do not eat of it, nor touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said to the woman, You shall certainly not die. For Elohim knows that in the day you eat of it your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be like Elohim, knowing good and evil. And the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, and she took of its fruit and ate. And she also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. And they sewed fig leaves together, and made loin coverings for themselves. And they heard the sound of Yahweh Elohim walking about in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh Elohim among the trees of the garden. And Yahweh Elohim called unto Adam and said to him, Where are you? And he said, I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself. And he said, Who made you know that you were naked? Have you eaten of the tree of which I commanded you that you should not eat? And the man said, The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I ate. And Yahweh Elohim said to the woman, What is this you have done? And the woman said, The serpent deceived me, and I ate. And Yahweh Elohim said to the serpent, Because you have done this, you are cursed more than all livestock and more than every beast of the field. On your abdomen you are to go and eat dust all the days of your life. And I put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. He shall crush your head, and you shall crush his heel. To the woman he said, I greatly increase your sorrow and your conception. Bring forth children in pain, and your desire is for your husband, and he rules over you. And to the man he said, Because you have listened to the voice of your wife, and have eaten of the tree of which I commanded you, saying, Do not eat of it. Cursed is the ground because of you. In toil you are to eat of it all the days of your life. And it shall bring forth thorns and thistles for you, and you shall eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your face you are to eat bread until you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you return. And the man called his wife's name Kawa, because she became the mother of all living. And Yahweh Elohim made coats of skin for the man and his wife, and dressed them. And Yahweh Elohim said, See, the man has become like one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put out his hand and take also of the tree of Kai, and eat and live forever. So Yahweh Elohim sent him out of the garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. And he drove the man out. And he placed cherubim at the east of the garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way to the tree of Kai. Bereshith chapter 4. And Adam knew Kawa his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have gained a man from Yahweh. And again she gave birth to his brother Hevel. And Hevel became a keeper of sheep, but Cain became a tiller of the ground. And it came to be in the course of time that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to Yahweh, and Hevel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And Yahweh looked to Hevel and his offering, but he did not look to Cain and his offering. And Cain was very wroth, and his face fell. And Yahweh said to Cain, Why are you wroth, and why is your face fallen? If you do well, is there not acceptance? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should master it. And Cain told Hevel his brother, Come, let us go into the field. And it came to be when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Hevel his brother and killed him. And Yahweh said to Cain, Where is Hevel your brother? And he said, I do not know. Am I my brother's guard? And he said, What have you done? The voice of your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. And now you are cursed from the earth, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand. If you till the ground, it shall no longer yield its strength to you. You shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth. And Cain said to Yahweh, My wickedness is too great to bear. See, you have driven me from the face of the ground today, and I am hidden from your face. I shall be a fugitive and a wanderer on the earth, and it shall be that anyone who finds me kills me. And Yahweh said to him, Well, if anyone kills Cain, vengeance is taken on him sevenfold. And Yahweh placed a sign for Cain, lest anyone finding him kills him. So Cain went out from the presence of Yahweh and dwelt in the land of Nod, on the east of Eden. And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Kanok. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Kanok. And to Kanok was born Lerad. And Lerad brought forth Mekuyael, and Mekuyael brought forth Methusael. And Methusael brought forth Lamech. And Lamech took for himself 2 wives. The name of one was Ada, and the name of the second was Tzilla. And Ada bore Yaval. He was the father of those who dwell in tents with livestock. And his brother's name was Yuval. He was the father of all those who play the lyre and flute. As for Tzilla, she also bore Tuval-Cain, a smith of all kinds of tools in bronze and iron. And the sister of Tuval-Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said to his wives Adha and Tzilla, "Hear my voice, wives of Lamech, listen to my words. For I have killed a man for wounding me, even a young man for hurting me. For Cain is avenged 7-fold, and Lamech 77-fold. And Adham knew his wife again, and she bore a son and called his name Sheth. For Elohim has appointed me another seed instead of Hevel, because Cain had slain him. And to Sheth, to him also a son was born, and he called his name Enosh. Then it was begun to call on the name of Yahuwah. Bereshith, chapter 5. This is the book of the genealogy of Adam. In the day that Elohim created man, he made him in the likeness of Elohim. Male and female he created them, and he barak them, and called their name Adam in the day they were created. And Adam lived 130 years, and brought forth a son in his own likeness, after his image, and called his name Sheth. And after he brought forth Sheth, the days of Adam were 800 years, and he brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years, and he died. And Sheth lived 105 years, and brought forth Enosh. And after he brought forth Enosh, Sheth lived 807 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Sheth were 912 years, and he died. And Enosh lived 90 years, and brought forth Kehanan. And after he brought forth Kehanan, Enosh lived 815 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years, and he died. And Kehanan lived 70 years, and brought forth Mahalalel. After he brought forth Mahalalel, Kehanan lived 840 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all of the days of Kehanan were 910 years, and he died. And Mahalalel lived 65 years, and brought forth Yered. And after he brought forth Yered, Mahalalel lived 830 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Yered lived 162 years, and brought forth Kanok. And after he brought forth Kanok, Yered lived 800 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Yered were 962 years, and he died. And Kanok lived 65 years, and brought forth Methushelach. And after he brought forth Methushelach, Kanok walked with Elohim 300 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Kanok were 365 years, and Kanok walked with Elohim. Then he was no more, for Elohim took him. And Methushelach lived 187 years, and brought forth Lamech. And after he brought forth Lamech, Methushelach lived 782 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Methushelach were 969 years, and he died. And Lamech lived 182 years, and brought forth a son, and called his name Noach, saying, "This one comforts us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because of the ground which Yahweh has cursed." And after he brought forth Noach, Lamech lived 595 years, and brought forth sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. And Noach was 500 years old, and Noach brought forth Shem, Cham, and Japheth. Bereshith, chapter 6. And it came to be, when men began to increase on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men, that they were good, and they took wives for themselves of all whom they chose. And Yahweh said, My Ruach shall not strive with mankind forever in his going astray. He is flesh, and his days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of Elohim came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, the men of name. And Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And Yahweh was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. And Yahweh said, I am going to wipe off man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping creature and birds of the Shamayim, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noach found favor in the eyes of Yahweh. This is the genealogy of Noach. Noach was a righteous man, perfect in his generations. Noach walked with Elohim, and Noach brought forth 3 sons, Shem, Cham, and Japheth. And the earth was corrupt before Elohim, and the earth was filled with violence. And Elohim looked upon the earth and saw that it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And Elohim said to Noach, The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and see, I am going to destroy them from the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood, make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with tar. And this is how you are to make it. The length of the ark is 300 amma, its width 50 amma, and its height 30 amma. Make a window for the ark, and complete it to an amma from above, and put the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. And see, I myself am bringing flood waters on the earth to destroy all flesh in which is the breath of life from under the Shamayim. All that is on the earth is to die. And I shall establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you and your sons, and your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of all the living creatures of all flesh, 2 of each you are to bring into the ark, to keep them alive with you, a male and a female. Of the birds after their kind, and of the cattle after their kind, and of all creeping creatures of the earth after their kind, 2 of each are to come to you, to keep them alive. As for you, take of all food that is eaten, and gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. And Noach did according to all that Elohim commanded him, so he did. Bereshith chapter 7. And Yahweh said to Noach, Come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. Of all the clean beasts, take with you 7 pairs, a male and his female, and of the beasts that are unclean, 2, a male and his female, 8, and of birds of the Shamayim, 7 pairs, male and female, to keep offspring alive on the face of all the earth. For after 7 more days I am sending rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and shall wipe from the face of the earth all that stand that I created. And Noach did according to all that Yahweh commanded him. Now Noach was 600 years old when the floodwaters were on the earth. And Noach and his sons, and his wife and his sons' wives went into the ark because of the waters of the flood. Of the clean beasts, and of the beasts that are unclean, and of birds, and of all that creep on the earth. 2 by 2 they went into the ark to Noach, male and female, as Elohim had commanded Noach. And it came to be after 7 days that the waters of the flood were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noach's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of the Shammahim were opened, and the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On that same day, Noach and Shem and Cham and Japheth, the sons of Noach, and Noach's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, went into the ark, they and every living creature after its kind, and every beast after its kind, and every creeping creature that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, every bird of every sort. And they went into the ark to Noach, 2 by 2 of all flesh, in which is the breath of life. And those going in, male and female of all flesh, went in as Elohim had commanded him, and Yahweh shut him in. And the flood was on the earth 40 days, and the waters increased and lifted up the ark, and it rose high above the earth. And the waters were mighty and greatly increased on the earth, and the ark moved about on the surface of the waters. And the waters were exceedingly mighty on the earth, and all the high mountains under all the Shammahim were covered. The waters became mighty, 15 amma upward, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle and beasts and every creeping creature that creeps on the earth, and all mankind, all in whose nostrils was the breath of the Spirit of life, all that was on the dry land died. So he wiped off all that stand which were on the face of the ground, both man and beast, creeping creature and bird of the Shammahim, and they were wiped off from the earth, and only Noach was left, and those with him in the ark. And the waters were mighty on the earth 150 days.